Adam, Ben here, going over your video analysis swings from spring break camp, and thanks for coming down to camp, and wish you the best this season. Let's go ahead and get started here. A few things that I found in regards to our swing. Everything looks in pretty good shape in regards to our start. I'm going to go ahead and back you up here. I did find a few things to work on here. One thing is you like to start back, and that's fine. Just a couple things that I would recommend in regards to our start. When you have your back foot, take your back foot and you can see how it's kind of turned out a little bit. You need to make sure that the back foot is, at least if you're going to start back with our weight, is make sure that it starts in or starts turned. So take your foot kind of and just turn your angle of our foot here and turn that heel more back so you can see. At minimum, you want your foot to be straight ahead. You can see how it's kind of angled this way. And make sure that your foot is kind of straight ahead. Because the most important thing is we need to make sure that that toe is straight ahead, so that knee is not going straight down. Your knee should be in a little bit. So, for example, this knee should kind of be over here. And as I turn this back heel this way, it's going to bring this knee more inside of our feet here. Right now, you can see if I draw a straight line, you don't want the knee to go straight down to the foot. You want the knee to kind of go straight down to the ground. So you want kind of your knee over here, so you'll have some space. You don't want to have a straight line. You want to have your knee kind of this way, and the angle to kind of be in there. But notice on your front foot, if I go down from my knee, it's going to go straight down to the ground, and on my back knee, it goes straight down to your foot. So what's going to happen is you're going to lose a lot of power because you're going to use a lot of arms. In regards to that, make sure in our hand position, I would take our hands and I would probably bring them up in this area more to have it more of a better angle and a better path to the ball. A lot of times if we start too upright, if our hands get too low and we start too upright, we have a tendency to have more timing issues and more things need to be on time. Remember, the more movement you have, the more chances for mistakes and errors that you have. So just something to be aware of. It looks like it's more of a timing mechanism here because as you go get started, things move around. But just make sure as you face stronger pitching, it's important to be balanced from the start and have a better launch position and a better approach. It's going to help you be more consistent. So you can see as I go through, one thing that's going to really help you is I think that hand position. You can see as I go launch, my hands stay pretty low. So what I would do is make sure when your hands are about in this area that your hands get a little bit taller, and that's going to help you work a little bit more downhill. And when our hands begin to get a little bit lower like they are on a high pitch, on a high fastball, you're going to have a tendency to want to go uphill with our bat angle. So just something to be aware about as you move forward. As I go into land foot, one thing I do see we're going to focus next on is your land foot. So I'm going to draw a circle around that foot. As I do land foot, you can see that front foot really begins to open up, and what it does is it exposes this front hip as well too soon. And it's not too far off, but you don't ever want to go past a 45-degree angle. It's a little bit open. The goal is we're trying to hit against a firm, closed front side. And again, you don't do that bad of a job of it, but it's just something to be aware about. You do have some really good weight transfer into the baseball. Your timing does have to be pretty on because once your land foot hits, you keep drifting with our hips a little bit, so your back foot comes off the ground and you kind of go get the baseball, which is fine. Not everyone can do that. If you're successful doing that and if you're very consistent doing that, you can definitely stay doing that. But the angle of our bat is something to just watch, is that bat path. You do have a tendency to have a little bit of an upward hill angle just because if your hands start kind of low and I work kind of underneath, you can see as it comes through that your angle of your bat really sinks on you here. It's below our hands. We want to make sure that barrel stays above our hands as much as possible, especially working downhill. If you can bring your hand slot more up by my ears, just take your hands from there and put them right to there. I think that's really going to help you just work more of a downhill angle to the baseball, and then that ball travel to you. What you can do is you can kind of place a tee. We call it the high tee drill. What you can do is just place a tee here and place a ball up on it and have that tee nice and high. So place that tee, around this angle, this high. So as you notice, as I go through, if that ball's up there, that you have to have your hands. You can see how we would kind of be underneath that ball. With this part of our swing, you definitely want your hands to be there, but that barrel angle kind of wants to be here. So as the ball comes in, I can kind of work downhill to it compared to being, as it's right now, as it's beginning to drag on us, to focus on more of an uphill angle. Not bad at the finish in regards to you do want to come off of that back side, close off that front side a little bit more. You do lift that back leg off again, which is fine. A lot of guys do that style of hitting to come off of that back foot, but your timing has to be really on. So just make sure we don't go get it all the time. So make sure you let that ball travel when you're hitting the ball away or when you're pulling the ball. To make sure that you really let that ball travel to not have to worry about going to get it or transfer everything off that back side. All right, so we start 50-50, which is good, and then as you kind of have this little timing mechanism as the ball comes in, and you kind of go onto your back weight. Again, at this point of our swing, you want to make sure that that knee stays inside of our feet. So take this knee here, and you kind of want this a little bit turned this way, have it to where this angle of this foot is a little bit turned that way. And that's going to keep your knees inside of our feet and keep you a little bit stronger at contact. As you begin to load, remember, as you load, your hands should go up and away. And as you load, your hands go down and away. So it's very important to keep those hands nice and high. This part of our swing, make sure your hands get nice and high. Get those hands up a little bit. Again, that's going to get you on top of the baseball, working on a downhill angle. I think that's the biggest thing, is just getting a little bit, working on your lower half, getting you a little bit engaged in your lower half, a little bit more to be more consistent on different speeds and different parts of the plate, but more importantly, getting your bat path on a nice downhill flat angle to really have a chance to hit and be consistent. You can see at this one, again, our hands are one thing that's really going to help you too is don't think of so much hands to the ball. Think of make sure that you have to release that barrel. Once that barrel gets towards kind of this angle, now is when you need to release the barrel. So at this point of our swing, if I draw a little line around your hands here, right there, then at this point you want to take that barrel and now release it. But your hands kind of keep going, and you can see that my hands are way out in front and my barrel is dragging. So in really fast pitching, I'm actually going to be late on not releasing my barrel and getting jammed sometimes, or not getting a lot of power because I'm not releasing my barrel yet. Because your hands don't want to be that far out in front without the barrel kind of releasing. One thing you can do, I noticed as well, as you're out in front, is a better job on finishing your head at contact. You can kind of see your eyes are looking more out towards the field or towards the pitcher, whereas I want the eyes and the ball to travel more back here. You can see whether you're going to about to hit the ball right about there, which is too far out in front. What you want to do is you want to let the ball get more back in here, more by your body. It's going to get you stronger. It's going to let you handle that outside part, that outside pitch a lot better. So really turn your head and leave your head at contact here instead of having your head and your eyes kind of leak out in front. I think that's going to make a big difference. What I would do is I would take a tee, even after you hit, you can see you're looking where the ball goes. Don't even look where the ball goes. Just place the ball down here on the ground and just kind of keep your head on the ball at contact. That's going to have that point of contact be deeper, because I think you have to let the ball travel a little bit more. I think that's going to make a big difference. So what I would do is I would take a tee and work on tee work away, or tee work up the middle, and just have a tee here and just hit it off the tee. But the biggest thing is don't look where it goes. Just keep your head on contact and then place another ball down here that you can kind of look at after you swing. It's about getting you hit against a firm, closed front side, head on the baseball, letting the ball travel, getting more of your foundation, have your hands a little bit higher. I think that's going to make a big difference in regards to our swing. You can see how we kind of want to go out and get everything, where a lot of hitters want to let the ball kind of travel to you. And this one, you do a better job, but again, your head's a little bit out in front. You're going to get the ball. You're hitting against a much stronger, firm, closed front side. The only thing that I would change on this is you can see how your head and your eyes are more too far out in front, whereas you want to have your head be a little bit back here more. You kind of want to make contact. Right now, this is a great spot to freeze frame, because right now you want your head to be looking at contact, and you actually want that ball to hit the ball right back here. You can see obviously where that ball is out here, but the more it goes out in front, the less power you're going to have. So if you can let that ball travel, and have your head on the ball, and have let that ball travel all the way back here an extra couple feet, it's going to make a big difference. And maybe the pitching was just slow for this batting practice, but my guess is on occasion you would want to go get it and be out in front, maybe hit it at the end sometimes. But on really fast pitching, you might get jammed because it might get too deep. So those are just some things to work on that I think are going to make a big difference in our swing. You can tell you're very athletic, have some really good ability, and we really appreciate you coming down for camp this year. We wish you the best this season, and keep in touch on how you're doing.